Hello everybody, my name is Kublu, and as always, I'm bringing you guys the Sunday Evening Cup Series report for December 1st, 2013, and yeah, you guys already figured out, I'm never going to switch those numbers around, so sorry guys. I mean, it's convenient for keeping my files in order, but it's not really convenient for being obvious as to what date it is, but that is December 1st, 2013, for anybody who's wondering. And yeah, this is just a report for the SECS. I just do it because I don't feel like typing things up, and I feel like I need to pass on information to you guys that's important. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the very first thing I usually do, or that I do from now on, is I get up and go turn off my light because that was a very bright light. As you guys already know, I do these videos late for some apparent reason. It is 1:03 in the morning, and I got class tomorrow at 8. But I'll still make it. I was gonna do this report, and I'm gonna go to bed, and then it'll play on YouTube. I'll be famous. But anyway. Speaking of being famous, on the road to being famous as far as playing Dota, especially trying to play professionally, you always just have those moments where you just like want to just like there's like no words, you just rage. It's like no logic you can possibly think, and you end up with one of these moments where you just that's how you feel. So I felt this is very appropriate for this week because we did have something happen that kind of made me feel a little bit this way. Of course, I'm a very conflict resolution based person, so I'm all about talking out the problem and trying to be as mild mannered as I possibly can while dealing with people. But sometimes things kind of make me want to go this way. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Of course, as always, I'm gonna give you guys the topics to let you guys know the format of this show. The first part is the tournament report. Basically just some general information about the event that we just had. Then I go into the issue report, which is where I talk about things that happened that you guys, that I feel that you guys might want to know about, might want to know what's going on in the background. So there will be some transparency, some sense of transparency all around. Also, there's some other sense of transparency, but I'll talk about that when I get to the awesome report. Speaking of the awesome report, that will be the next thing I'll talk about after the issues, because not everything that happens in a tournament setting is bad. There are a lot of good things that happen, such as people getting playing their games, people meeting new people, making friends, making babies over the internet. I don't know how you would manage that, but yeah, that's weird, but it can happen. So, awesome report would be there for that. And then, Cool Blue's thoughts, because there might be a time where I want to ramble about something, so I can just use that moment of time to just take a spotlight and just ramble about something. I don't know what it'll be. I usually think about that while I'm casting, or while I'm doing this recording. And let me find something, because I know I need to write them down, because otherwise I'll forget completely about what my thought was supposed to be about. And the very last one is a summary, because I want to make sure I highlight those key points that I want you guys to take away from this video. Now keep in mind, just a heads up from the start, I'm going to talk about this in the issue report too, but just a heads up from the start, these videos do go long, and by go long I mean like 40 minutes is the average time across all the videos. I think my longest one was like 50 or something like that. So, just to let you guys know, there are a lot of things to talk about, and I do like to talk and explain my thought process a lot, which is why I decided to write a video instead of type it out, because it will take forever to type up my thoughts, let me tell you. Anywho, as far as the tournament report goes, the very first point is, of course, congratulations to Swagentiger. Okay, hold on. Swagentiger. That's what I shall call you. Congratulations to you guys. You guys won this week's SECS tournament, which actually this week was the final week for the qualifiers for the actual finals. So this is the semi-final week. And basically, for all those who don't know about that, I'll be talking about this in the Ultimate report, but I'll just go ahead and throw it out now because I'm going to talk about it a few more times throughout the entire report, especially since this is one right before the finals. Basically what we're doing is the winners from all 7 other previous tournaments, including this one, so that'll be 7 people total, and the second place winner from this one as well, so that'll run up to 8 total, will all be called back and invited back to our very final SECS event of the season. So we'll call everybody back in, they'll play their matches, it's just 8 people, round of best of 1 for the whole entire thing, except for the grand finals, which will be a best of 3, and there's sure to be some crazy action happening there. And as far as how we're going to be handling that, I'm going to try my hardest to get every single match casted, and by every single match, I mean every single match. I mean, it's only like, what? You have 8 teams, so 7 matches plus potentially 2 more. Well, plus potentially 2 more. But it'll be 8 matches guaranteed. Yeah, because you have each team play. It should come out to that number, something like that. So 8 matches guaranteed, potentially 9. And if it does go to 9 matches, that'll be freaking awesome. But I want to get every single one of those matches featured on Dota TV. So guys who are watching and just love to watch these reports because you like to hear me talk, stay tuned because there will be plenty of action happening next week. And for everybody who's playing in this finals, be prepared because we are going to hold the crap out of your matches. So even though it's only 8 teams, it probably will still last the normal duration of maybe 5 to 6 hours. Because we're going to, like I said, systematically get every single match casted. And we can cast up to 4 at a time. I know that for sure. It's been my experience that if you have more than 4 people or 4 casting matches running at one time, then the ones that are overlapped or over that time, they get cut off. Which is what it seems to be. Like, I consistently see the same thing, but anyway, that's a tournament report. It's a tournament. I'm not supposed to go in detail on tournament report. I'm supposed to say general things. Moving on to the next point, ticket match numbers. I actually didn't look this up. Oh, shit. I forgot to look this up before I started this. If I had to throw a rough estimate, I would say 14 matches, which is lower than our goal of 20, but 14 matches, still a lot of matches. The reason why I don't know for sure is because if you guys didn't know, my computer was completely dead. My main rig, well, it wasn't completely dead. My graphics card was dead, which I actually figured out was something totally different. But I'll talk about that in my thoughts. Talk about Cool Blue's computer. But long story short, my graphics card was dead, and I couldn't really do much with Dota. I was using my laptop, and my laptop runs Dota great if Dota was a slideshow. So, needless to say, I had a few extra hands to help me out this week as far as starting the matches, as I always do. And of course, the next thing, the last thing in the tournament report is the chat comment of the week. And as far as this chat comment of the week, this one goes out to Mass M Killer 8083, and it says we deserve to be put into the tourney. And this one, it's not really like a funny one, or it's not like a lighthearted one. This is more like a guy who, or a person who was a captain of a team, presumably, who showed up late, and like I'm talking like really late, and we'll talk about this in issue report. So I'll actually pause that explanation and move on because I think that's the very first point to talk about. There you go, yeah, issue report. So here's the issue report, guys. This is basically what I talk about, some of the negative things that happen, or some of the things that we are working on as admins to help fix, to help make sure we inform you guys that these things have happened and that we are doing things, putting things in place, putting more protocols, putting more rules, putting more ways to help people understand that we prefer this action to happen as opposed to that one. So as far as the issue report goes, the very first thing is tournament schedule time. So we had an issue this week where when we made our tournament bracket page, like, because we usually, what we do for our Battlefy page is we just essentially copy and paste everything that's in our Battlefy fields and we just literally slap it all into the next one. Which is why everything stays consistent, and which is why all of the information we have there is essentially general, except for this schedule time, which you have to kind of manually do by yourself. And as far as the schedule time goes, like on Battlefy, you can type in a manual time all you want, but it also has a feature where you can just put the time in through Battlefy, and the Battlefy will keep track of it and adjust people's time zone and do some fancy things for you. So for this week, or for last week, we accidentally had the time set to 7 p.m. when it's supposed to be at 5 p.m., which is a whole entire 2 hours, 2 whole hours later than what it's supposed to be. And that got a lot of people confused. And by a lot of people, I mean at the time of check-in, because there's a lot of people who have been working with the tournament, they've been playing consistently, and they said, hey, this tournament usually starts at 5 p.m. or whatever time that it usually starts at, and this thing's at 7. Well, I'm here in the chat room because I know it starts at this time, but it says 7 here, so check-ins aren't open because it says 7 there, but the match is supposed to start, and people are confused. Just hilarity ensued, you guys. That's all I can say. So long story short, we messed up on our parts as the admins. We put the wrong time in Battlefy, so when the time came around for check-ins to start, which for everybody who doesn't know, the check-in time period is a 30-minute time period from 4:30 to 5 o'clock, and it cuts off at that time. And for all those who don't know, I am, for lack of better words, I am pretty anal when it comes to check-in times. Where basically, if you don't make the check-in times, if you don't do the alternative forms, if you don't do the Battlefy check-in, if you don't do one of those 2 things, unless you have some extenuating circumstance, such as your hometown just blew up and all the internet's gone and you had to use your cell phone to play Dota for the duration of the tournament, and that took you a whole entire 40 minutes to set up, so you couldn't check in that time. something extreme like that, I'll say, okay, that sounds like a crazy story, but whatever. That at least you took the time to tell me a story in a respectful manner, so I can say, okay, yeah, I'll give you the pass on that one. We'll toss you into the brackets if it is possible, which it is possible, but we would much prefer not to do that. And I don't know how many more times I can say much to push the point that we just do not like to do that, because the last thing we want to have happen is for the brackets to be live and people to be playing their matches, and then we go in and try to like add a name in here and just screw up all the brackets, and everybody's playing the wrong team now, and then you gotta readjust the brackets and gotta go make it on challenge on instead of Battlefy, and it just creates a messy situation. So for all those who don't know why we generally don't add you back into the brackets once we make the brackets, that is the reason why. It's because the risk doesn't equal the reward. Now, I understand that me saying risk relative to your team it sounded like a bad thing, because it's like I'm saying, oh, your team's not worth the risk, and that sounds like a horrible thing, and I probably shouldn't be saying that. But at the end of the day, guys, you gotta look at the bigger picture, where we have, let's say 59 teams. Okay, that's about our average, I guess. We have 59 teams here, all already playing, and you're one or two teams who are trying to get themselves in the brackets. And in order for us to accommodate that one or two teams, we might end up disrupting all 59 of those other guys. So the moment that we screw up their position in brackets, then we have to not only worry about the repercussions of that, but we also have to worry about making sure that you guys got in correctly. And by the time we figure out that whole entire situation, it'll be messy as heck, and people will be raising all kinds of hell, and it will not be fun at all. So in order to prevent that, I just become extremely stern on the rules of, if you didn't make check-in time, if you're not in the alternative check-in, or even if I overlooked you completely, or if it was our faults, we just don't add you back in, because it's not worth the trouble as far as like the headache that we would have, the shitstorm that we would have coming back at us. So I'm taking a long time to explain that, just because I know it sounds horrible when I said it's not worth the risk of putting you into the brackets after the brackets are made, but that's kind of the only way I can say it. So there you go, guys. Cool Blue being straightforward as always. And yeah, the reason why tournament schedule time was a big issue is because that team who had the chat comment of the week, that was one of the teams that they saw the time, it was 7 o'clock, and what they did, they probably got on there like 6:30 and said, okay, check-in's about to open, and then they hit refresh on the page and it said check-ins were at 5 o'clock and they're closed, and they're like, oh, what the hell, what's going on? So they contact the admins, they start arguing in the chat, and essentially being more so benign than anything else. No offense to the person who was actually throwing the comments, no offense to you, Killer, but basically he was trying to argue the point. It's like, hey, I should be in this bracket, you guys deserve to put me in the brackets, next week I better be in the brackets, and blah blah blah. And I was like, look, we're not going to put you in the brackets, especially not next week, because that's the finals anyway. So there you go, guys, that's the story behind the chat comment of the week. Next point I will make is leaving without finishing. So I didn't properly put my caps in there, it's kind of bothering me, but let's not be a neat freak here. Leaving without finishing. So we had a big issue happen this week, and it seems every week we have at least one big issue, one thing that really stuck out that kind of made the whole being an admin thing kind of crappy at times. But we had one issue stick out this week, and it was basically we had a conflict between two teams. And just to give you guys a story, just to give you guys exactly what happened, because I'm beating around the bush a little bit too much. Basically, one of the teams knew they won the game. They were in the advantageous position. They figured they won the game, and they all just left. And the other team, their enemy, didn't leave the game, so they got the victory reported in the final report. So then what happened was the team that left, that won they were in a really good position. I'm not going to deny that. Like, they were like 20 kills ahead. They had really good farm. They had pretty much a whole bunch of towers down and stuff. They were in a really good position. But they left the game first, and the enemy team was still there. And in the chat, they were just arguing back and forth. It's like, hey, we won that game. It's like, I was like, oh, no, you guys left before the game ended. It's like, no, we won the game. You guys just called GG and blah, blah, blah. It's like, but that didn't mean we weren't ready to leave. We were still fighting. It's like, blah, blah. So it's a big argument going on in chat. I'm like, yo, bros, chill out. Everybody, PM me, please. Jeez, I need to get a handle on the situation. So, got a handle on the situation. Got in contact with all the captains involved, which is 2 captains. And they explained their sides to me. And the ruling I finally called, without going into too much detail, because I'm going to spend enough time going into detail. I'm just trying to give you guys a basic story before I go into detail. But the ruling I finally called was the team that left Even though they were in an advantageous position, even though they had more towers, even though they theoretically should have won that game, like they could have been up by 20k gold for all I care. They left the match first, their ancient exploded, so the victory goes to the team that stayed in the game. And the reason why I made that decision, for all those who are wondering, is because there's two things going on here. First of all, it's slight BM, and I say slight very, I use that term as explicit as I possibly can when I say slight. I mean, it's not like the biggest deal in the world, like it's not like you deserve to go to jail for BMing people. But it's slight BM to just say, okay, we won the game, just leave. I mean, that's kind of rude. That's a little bit rude, so I'm a little bit judging that on that basis. And I'm also judging on the basis of the fact that we as admins, there was no admin, no caster, nobody was there. This is one of those matches that happened in the background because there are a lot of matches going on. Just to give everybody perspective, there's roughly 32 matches going on, a maximum of 32 matches going on in the very first round. And we have like maybe 7 casters on a good day. So if you have 7 casters on a good day and you have 32 matches going on, there's no freaking way that we can monitor every single match that's happened at the same exact time. So that said, this is one of those matches where it was just like we just told the players, go ahead and play. Just play your match and report back who won or who lost. Because we trust everybody. We innately trust everybody out front to say, okay, if you won the game, just report that you won the game. Of course, if you didn't win the game, you claim you won the game, there will be an argument, and the admins will be handling that situation. But long story short, nobody was there to witness what happened. So basically, all I personally can go off as the admin who's kind of running everything, admin's responsible for making these calls, making the final judgments on disputes like this. I just had to go off of what Dota was reporting, and the screenshot was sent to me, and it said Radiant victory. And lo and behold, the Radiant were the team who were on the losing side, but they stayed in the game. So that means the Dire's Ancient exploded, and the Radiant got credit for the victory. So it's Radiant victory, so I'm going off of that. Alright, now let's go ahead and talk about the details and everything, because both sides have their story. And at the end of the day, I do feel a lot of sympathy for the team who won, who I had to go back and claim as DQ. But at the same time, I don't feel some sympathy for a certain captain, and that's debatable. I'm not gonna get like personal shots at anybody. Just to let you guys know that's not how I want to operate. But I'm just letting you guys know that there's a certain threshold I have for bullshit. And by bullshit, I mean for like you disrespecting me directly. Like there's a certain threshold I have. I'm never gonna like argue back at you and say, oh, you're a shitty person, you're this, you're that, and the other. But at the same time, I'm still a human being. I don't want to be disrespected. I know you don't want to be disrespected. So I would prefer that you not disrespect me back. And this is a slightly personal message to the captain. I forgot his name, but if I did remember, I'll say it now. If you guys want to see this whole entire conversation, you can check out the chat logs that I'll be posting in a link. That'll be linked below. But basically, like towards the end, he's got really disrespectful towards me personally because I made a decision that affected his team, and I understand his frustration. But please keep all that at home. Keep all that to yourself. I don't need to know all that. You can tell it to all your friends. You can talk about me behind your back all you want. You can hate me for all you want, but just don't disrespect me to my face, because that is not going to reflect positively on my decision towards you. And by that I mean it's going to make me less inclined to work with you and to try to get a better solution for you. So, all that said, the initial decision was made that the team who left were disqualified, and they will stay disqualified, or not disqualified, they got the loss. And the team who stayed got the win, so we had to go flip some stuff and people got angry and blah. So anyway, back to the details. The team who claimed the team who won, who was in an advantageous position, who left first, what they were saying was that the enemy team, who were on the losing side, the Radiant side, they basically had a GG call. Like, let's say 20 minutes to the game, they had a GG call, and they're saying, oh, they called GG, okay, let's just wait for them to leave. And then like 3 minutes later, they didn't leave, so they said, okay, you guys called GG, we're just gonna all leave on the winning side. So all the people on the winning side left because they were going off that one GG call. And just off of that statement, I'm saying, okay, even though they called GG, they're still sitting there playing. I mean, it's a whole entire different scenario. Like, if you're talking about a pub, I can understand. Somebody called GG on the enemy side and you all just leave. Yeah, that's a pub. I mean, that's the only way the game's gonna end is when everybody leaves or the Ancient explodes. But this is a custom lobby, which means that if somebody calls GG on a team in all chat, it's going to start the countdown timer of 10 seconds or whatever seconds it is. And as soon as that countdown timer goes all the way down, the ancient automatically explodes on the team that called GG. Now, the fact of the matter that, the fact that these guys saw the GG call on the winning side, and they saw the ancient didn't explode after like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, and then they still left the game afterwards, that kind of tells me that they were just saying, oh yeah, we won this game, this is a waste of my time, I was going to go ahead and leave. Which is definitely not the case, especially when you're talking about something where there's no caster there to witness this. There's nobody there to give me a first-person account that I would take at its face value, as opposed to just the players who were there, who obviously they have a invested interest. They want to win this game, they want to win the tournament, they want to get $100. They want to qualify for that finals. So they might just tell me any old thing just to try to get me to sway one way or the other. So I'm just not going to go for that. I mean, yeah, they call GG, and yeah, I think it's bad manner to call GG and keep playing. And by that, I mean, like, to call GG because you're mad of something happened. You can just call GG, it's like, oh man, my team sucks, GG. Like that's BM. I don't agree with that. You shouldn't do that. That's not cool. That's like a whole different mannerism thing we need to talk about later. But the fact of the matter is, oh, sorry, no, not. I need to stop saying that because I keep sounding like I'm gonna finish up, but I'm not finished, guys. It's just like maybe 3 or 4 more minutes left for this. So buckle in. So anyway, the enemy team, somebody called GG, and basically I want a screenshot proof of this. So I had the team who lost. They sent me the screenshot of the victory page, where it showed that they won the game because Ancient exploded on the winnings. On the dire side, who were winning, who had an advantageous position because, but they all left, so the rating got the victory. And the screenshot that was sent in to me by the person who was on the winning side that left the game completely. I need to remember the team name. Jeez, this would make it a lot easier to explain. But anyway, they sent me a screenshot of where the GG call was made. And the GG call was made, yeah, I see it's like capital letters GG by one of the people on the side of the team who was doing badly. But if you look above it, like the screenshot, the specific screenshot he sent me, it was like a whole bunch of other chat comments going on. Like it was basically like they were just beaming each other back and forth. Like one team was saying, "Oh man, you guys suck. If you guys are so bad, why are you even here in the tournament? If you're just gonna rage all the time, just don't be in the tournament. Just don't be here." And team who was on the losing side was like, "Oh man, dude, just chill." I was like, "Oh man, yeah, but we want to play in this tournament. We have the right to play in this tournament." The argument's going back and forth. So even though one team called GG in capital letters, that player. And this was explained to me by the captain of the team who's on the initially losing side. He basically said like there was one of the players who got like he just started raging really bad in their chat, and then he went to all chat and typed in capital GG, and that's where this whole entire thing went. But the players on the team where the player was raging, like they didn't want the game to end yet, so they canceled the countdown timer and they kept playing. So it's a lot of ethical things going on here. Just to throw a quick summary, because I know I've talked on a lot about the details of what has been going on, and this is of course the details as I understand it and as I assessed it when I made that final call of the team who left completely is a team who lost. Because at the end of the day, none of the admins were there to witness it, none of the casters were there to personally witness it, and there's no way that we can go look at the replay unless we have them upload the file to like a file share server or Google Drive or something. We download it and then we go into Dota TV and look at it. Because it's a private match, and we won't be able to see it. But even if we were able to do that, we wouldn't take the time to do that, because at the end of the day, the team who claimed that they were in the winning position, they left completely while the game was still going on. Their enemy was clearly still fighting. And that's what I based my call off of. And that's why I didn't change my call. Even, like initially I told the guys, like, okay, look, the call I'm going on right now is that you guys are going to be losing. The other team, even though they lost the game, technically, according to what you guys are saying, they're going to get the victory because they stayed in the game and they kept playing. But you guys left completely, and you guys blatantly left completely, as in, like I said before, the GG was called like maybe 2 or 3 minutes later, according to what both sides essentially said. Like 2 or 3 minutes later, one team just completely left, and the other team just said, oh, okay, they're just going to leave like that? That's not cool. So anyway, a lot of explanation going on, a lot of ethical things going on. The basic point I'm trying to get at is, especially when you're dealing with a tournament situation like this, I know this tournament is not supposed to be like super strict on rules. It's supposed to be like a lax tournament where the players just come and get some play time and just get some exposure on Dota TV and whatnot and meet other teams. But at the end of the day, guys, if you're just gonna show up and say, okay, we won this game and just leave, I mean, that's just disrespectful not only to the players, but it's also disrespectful to the tournament itself. What are you really saying about the tournament when you just say, oh, I am winning because I'm an alchemist, I have a Shadow Blade AC, a Basher, and it's 40 minutes to the game, and the enemy team somebody has a heart, but it doesn't matter because we're still winning, and then you just all leave. I mean, it's like, first of all, those items don't necessarily equal or equate to winning, because we know that the name of the game is Defense of the Ancients, not get more kills, get more gold, get bitches, and GG, and all leave, even though you're winning. I mean, you don't, that's not how you win Dota, guys. Anyway, so I've lingered too long, spent like 15 minutes on that one issue itself, because it took me a long time to explain things, but it's important that I talk about it. And now that I've talked about it, now that I ragged on long enough about the team who left early, we need to talk about Tatical GG Calls, because that stuff in itself, like I said before, is BM itself. I mean, like, you can call GG, and if you call GG, it's kind of like it's like an honor thing, right? It's like you're in a one-on-one duel, and you're saying, oh, I yield, for all those who watch medieval stuff. You know, you say you yield, and that means you're going to stop fighting, you're done. But it's like you saying you yield, and then the person who you're fighting, they put down their weapon, and then you just pick up a dagger and stab him in the heart and just shank him to death. I mean, that's not cool, man. First of all, that person's dead. I mean, you're probably going to die anyway, but that person's dead, and he's unhonorably dead. I mean, it's like, have some dignity about yourself, man. Don't just call it tactical GGs because you want to get an advantage just by doing that. So, like, that stuff's not cool. I'm putting this point here to say that if it becomes a pattern where we see a team, specifically a team or just a specific team, continuously throwing out the GG calls and then keep playing for like 20 minutes and then they win the game, and then they call a GG call next game, like something goes bad, they say GG, and the other team says GG back, and there's like GG well played and going on, and the other team's like, oh, okay, we're relaxing, and then they just keep doing it, over and over and over. If it becomes a pattern, then yes, there will definitely be some severe repercussions for that, because that's like a tactical pause. That's just as bad as that. It's like, oh man, there's a lich throwing the ulti and I don't see anybody else. Let's pause. And then while you pause, you say, oh, okay, I see the fog of war is clearing up on here. We see a Shadow Fiend right behind him, and we see another person behind him. We see another person, so they're all coming in. And then you do a reorganization strategy to say everybody converge here, everybody back off. We don't want to initiate on this. I mean, that's just not cool. That's like, let's give yourself an unfair advantage, in the sense that it's almost on par with stream sniping, for all those who want to put it that way. So, basically what I'm trying to say is that if we catch that as a pattern, then we will definitely throw down some hard, and by hard I mean like, I'm talking like bans for the entire season and type things, if we can possibly manage that. And the reason why I keep saying if, the reason why I keep qualifying things is because I still have to run things by my head admin, Spit-Wad. He makes the final decisions in all these calls. I am basically the facilitator for a lot of things, but he is the one who makes the final call. So I can say, yeah, we're going to perma ban you all day, but at the end of the day, I still have to run it by him to make sure it's still cool. And usually, he's usually on board with the calls I make. And by usually, I mean if I can explain it and explain why we need to do it, then he might go for it. So anyway, tactical GG calls, just don't do it. If it becomes a pattern, you will be punished. Just know that. So I'm not encouraging that at all. Especially with this case, because this is a very unique case where the winning team's like, hey, we won, so they just left. Anyway, length of videos. So, speaking of the devil, this video is only gone 28 minutes long. So this is actually another thing brought up by the head admin. He basically said, hey, Cool Blue, your reports are cool, but the videos last way too long. And I do agree to a certain extent. And the certain extent that I agree is like, I ramble a lot. I mean, it took me like, what, 15 minutes to talk about leaving without finishing. So it's obvious I ramble a lot. But I feel like the videos do need to have some certain amount of length to them to allow me to fully think out or fully tell why I made decisions. Because what I don't want to happen is I don't want me or any of us as admins to make a decision that seems extremely harsh and then not tell people why it happened, because that doesn't facilitate improvement of behavior. To me, that facilitates the, oh my gosh, this guy's just going to do whatever he wants. He's going to become some power-hungry jerk who just does whatever the heck he wants because he can. I feel like if we take the time to explain ourselves and explain why we did things, and people can at least to some extent agree, it's like, okay, I see why he did that. I mean, I don't agree with it completely, but I see why he disqualified that team who started feeding couriers because it's, you know, giving away money from Dota, and Valve wants money and stuff. Like, people can at least see our train of thoughts and hopefully not judge us as harshly. So that's why these videos are usually long, because I spend a lot of time explaining things maybe a little bit too in depth. I do agree with that. I don't have to go as in depth as far as explaining exactly what happened, but that said, this video is already gone 30 minutes, guys. So that formatting. So there you go, guys. The Awesome Report is a little bit buggy right now. Let's go and talk about those last 2 points that you guys see. We see Albie promoted to AC. So for all those who don't know, Albie is one of the casters for us for the Sunday Evening Cup series. He started off as a person who's just like random person, saw his tournament and said, hey, I want to go on Dota TV, I want to cast for you guys, let me cast please. And we said, sure, if you go through Castnet, which for those who don't know, I talked about this extensively a few times. Castnet is what I'm using to bring the casters in, outside casters into the casting for the SECS. So Albie, he's been promoted to AC mainly because he's been with us from the start. Ever since I started Castnet sourcing for casters for the SECS, he's been there from the start. He's been there pretty much every single week. I think he has only missed 1 week out of 7, or out of maybe 6 or 5. I don't know, one of those numbers. He's only missed like 1 week, and he's been pretty much consistent with all his casts and stuff. And I really do I appreciate the fact that he was here the whole entire time. Also, Thantos, shout out to you, Thantos. You were his co-caster. I didn't promote him to admin as well, but he's still a caster. He can still go with Albie. And basically what an AC means is as admin and caster, for those who don't know. That's just my distinguishing tags for people, to let people know in chat, or in the chat in general, that this person can admin, this person can create their own lobbies to be taken on Dota TV, and they're also casters. So they're the caster for your match. So it's just to let people know. Because I know it might be hard to figure out who's a caster, who's an admin, who has power of everything and whatnot. So there you go. Albie got promoted from CC, which is just a pure caster, to AC, which is an admin / caster. Which admin is not really more admin; it's more so he can create lobbies and he's a caster. So there you go. And also SECS admin public. As far as that goes, that is a file that I have in Google Drive where you guys can go if you want and check out all the chat logs that I always talk about all day long. You can find the chat logs, upload the weekly chat logs for check-in times, and also upload the chat logs for conversations I have with people that I feel need to be thrown out there. And also the ones that, I mean, I throw a few that just probably, you guys would probably do without reading. Like, somebody asks me, hey, how do I change my team name? And I say, oh, you change your team name by going here and clicking that. And they say, oh, okay, cool, thanks, you're cool. And I say, oh, yeah, sweet. And that's it. Like, there are a few chat logs like that, but they are there. The big ones that I do talk about, like the one that I'm talking about right here with the team that left early, that entire chat log will be placed there, along with all the other conversations that were involved in that, and also the chat logs such as the one that I was talking about, the feeding couriers, the conversation we had after the couriers were fed. That conversation is there if you guys want to read it all for yourself and assess the situation on your own. It's up to you. Optional, you don't have to do it. It's just something there that you guys can use at your own discretion. So there you go, the finals are next week, guys. And as far as the finals go, I need to go ahead and bring up that list of peoples, because that list of peoples is important. So as I said before, congratulations to Swaginator. They are the winners for this round, or week 7. But as far as all the other people, because we have 8 teams total, so that means Swaginators are going to be one of them. We have Stay Free, who won the first week. We have Top 5, who won the second week. Typical Mistakes, who won the third week. You Suck Bros, who won the 4th week. Ham Clubhouse, who won the 5th week. Love, or Lincoln's over Vanguard every time, pretty cool name, who won the 6th week. And for our person who's going to be filling in that last spot, that 8th spot, we're going to have QQ, or Q_Q. They are going to be our 8th place persons. And the reason why they are 8th place persons, if you guys look at the brackets, you guys can see that you guys can see that the 2nd place person for this week, which is December 1st, 2013, the 2nd place person for this week is actually Ham Clubhouse, but they are already in the finals because they won a previous week. They won week 5. So we had to find another one. And what we did was we basically went to the next matches that were down. and of course Swaginator was in one and Ham Ham Clubhouse in the other. But we took those two teams and looked at the week before to see who got the furthest, and it was actually kind of convenient because they actually played each other last week. So basically, in November 24th, 2013, match number 59 is where QQ and Fully Spaced Int played each other, and QQ won out over Fully Spaced Int. So that is why QQ are our 8th team for the finals. So congratulations to all those teams. We will see you guys next week. And as far as the last point I have here, Unofficial Scrims. So this is something I thought was extremely awesome. As you guys know, the SECS is all about facilitating that community vibe. All about, I mean, even though we have all these rules and like bad things happen because Cool Blue's being a jerk and all this stuff. At the end of the day, we're all about facilitating that environment of, hey, these are a whole bunch of teams who have the same mentality as you guys. They want to become famous, they want to become big, they want to become better at Dota, they want to compete at those higher levels. Just play against them, just get to know them, network, say, hey, that team played really good, even though we lost, we want to play with them in the future. So get their contacts and, you know, maybe later like schedule a scrim and have a few matches, do a best of 7 or do a best of 9, a charity event or something. So we're all about promoting that that vibe. And I actually saw, I don't know if this is exactly what happened, but I saw one of the teams. There was one player from a team, I think they got banned last week for this week. I think it was from top 5. And he was in our chat lobby, and I saw him playing Dota versus one of the teams who lost in the first round. They both, well, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but they were like at the same time they started playing Dota match. And they were, I assume they were playing against each other. So even if that wasn't the case, it's still kind of freaking awesome to see that actually happen right before your eyes, or see something similar to that happen right before your eyes, where the team players, even though they're down in the match, even though one team was banned completely from playing this week, they're still there, they still want to get their matches in, they still want to get their practice in, they still want to become better, and they still want to network, and they're still playing those matches. So these unofficial scrimmages, that's what we want to encourage. We want more of that to happen. We want to encourage everybody out there who's a fan of Dota, or just a person watching this stuff, just, I don't know, go contact somebody from Unnerve and say, hey, let's play matches. And they'll probably say, okay, sure, you're like a level 3 in Dota, but okay, whatever, I'm like level 128, which doesn't mean anything, by the way. Well, it means something, but it doesn't mean much. But I do encourage everybody to just keep playing, keep becoming better, because the better we all become as a collective, the better the scene does as a whole. And there we go, Cool Blue's off-topic thoughts. Let's see, what was my off-topic thought? Oh, my computer. Oh god, my computer. Let's talk about this. So as you guys can apparently see, my computer is, for the most part, fixed. I am recording this Sunday Evening Cup Series report. So obviously my computer is doing something well. Hopefully my blue screen issue is fixed. I don't know if it's fixed completely, and let's cross our fingers and hope it doesn't happen to this video, because I swear I will die. I don't know if I can say all this again in the same manner. And it's only 140 right now. Keep in mind, it was 103 when I started this. But yeah, as far as my computer goes, it has been having a lot of issues. It has blue screen quite a bit. And actually last week, no, the week before last, which was during the Sunday Evening Cup Series, whatever that week was, my computer, it didn't completely die, but it might as well have completely died. It got to the point where it locked up whenever I went into Windows, and I mean, whenever it came up into the computer, it just locked up on my monitors. So I had to figure out what was wrong with it, and I came to the conclusion that it was my graphics card. Now keep in mind, my graphics card, for all those who are tech people out there like me, it is a GTX 8800, and that is right, guys. I said 8800, not 800. I said 8800. So I think it's ancient relative to graphics cards go. And it was, I think it's like 6 years old now, or maybe 7 years now. It's a pretty old card. It worked perfectly fine. It ran my Dota. It got me through my cast. I've been using it for freaking ever, and it's still trustworthy. I love the crap out of it. But I came to the conclusion that it was my graphics card that was the issue. So I ordered a new graphics card, and long story short, it didn't come in until yesterday, relative to when this video was made. It didn't come in until yesterday. I finally installed it today, got it playing, got it going. It was perfectly fine. It was cool. I got an upgrade. I got a GTX 660. I should have got a 760, but I wasn't paying attention. I didn't realize that they were the same price, and I got a slightly lower card. Well, not slightly. I got a one generation lower than what I should have gotten. But I got that for $200. I was pretty happy about that. Like I said, I could have got a 760 for I think the same price because it went on sale the next day, and it made me really mad because I couldn't cancel because I got 3-day shipping. And then freaking Thanksgiving came up, so there's no shipping over Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, and there's also no shipping on the weekends. So what that means is, guys, because this made me mad. I ordered my card on Tuesday, and then Wednesday rolls around, it does, like, you know, it goes through shipping, so that means it's paid for and it's in transit. And then Thursday comes by, which is Thanksgiving, which was Thanksgiving, and that means there's no shipping on the day. And then Black Friday comes around, which is the day after Thanksgiving, and there's no shipping on that day. And then there's a weekend, so it's 2 more days where there's no shipping. And then Monday comes around and there's shipping. I was like, oh my god, I might as well just like freaking wait it and order on Thursday or something. God, this is killing me. So long story short, guys, my graphics card, I was expecting it to be here by Friday, but then I forgot, hey, Thanksgiving, right? I have family stuff, and then no shipping. Of course, because I'm supposed to know that. Anyway, long story short, my graphics card is here. That's all that matters. I wasn't able to have it over the weekend, so that made me sad. But I do have it now, and finals are right around the corner for me for school, so I probably won't be able to use it all that much, except for record a few videos like this. So anyway, that's enough about my computer. My computer should be fixed. Oh no, actually that's not enough. I came to the conclusion afterwards, like after I put a new graphics card in and I still had the same issue, that it was actually one of my cables connecting to my monitor. That was the issue, not the graphics card. So I upgraded my graphics card, which is good. It's still a good thing, but I didn't need to, which is kind of a bummer because that was $200. That's $200 that I had to take out my savings, which my savings is enough. Just know that it's enough to be sustainable for a while until I do put money in consistently, so it's not going down like dramatically or anything. But that's $200, guys. I'm broke, relatively speaking, except for my savings. So that's a lot of money, and all I had to do was replace that cord. But anyway, I got a new upgraded card. For those who watch my videos and watch my cast, you will probably be seeing some slightly higher quality video and some slightly higher quality polygons, which is great for all my viewers. So be on the lookout for that in the future. Just not anytime soon because, like I said, finals. So anyway, summary, finals next week. That point is not correctly formatted, but there you go, finals are next week. Keep in mind for that. Congratulations to Swagzinator. I shall call you Swagzinator. I don't know if I'm properly pronouncing that, but congratulations to you guys. You guys won this week, and you guys do deserve that victory. That's $100 in your pocket at the end of the season. And the middle point, leave it without finishing. For this specific tournament, and also just in general, guys, I mean, if you know you have the advantage, yeah, sure, you're probably going to waste another 10 minutes because the other team is being tryhards and they're all trying to stay and play. And they think they can win with their Earthshaker, Dazzle, Lena, Lion, and Shadow Shaman. I mean, they think they can come back versus an anti-mage. I mean, come on, who can really do that? And they're being tryhards and they're doing a good job defending the base, but just take the hit. Stay 10 extra minutes, especially for this tournament. Specifically for this tournament, actually. Because when it comes to these calls, I'm making these calls based off of the final chart thing. And if it shows that your team was the one that won, and the argument does come up between the players, like they don't mutually agree that this team won, then yeah, I will call it in favor of who got that. Who got that tag on the results. But yeah, just stay and finish the game, guys. I mean, yeah, it's 10 extra minutes. The team that left early, they were claiming that they were rushed last week because they were behind and they only become super behind and stuff. And I understand that too. But guys, if you're in a match, we understand there are Dota matches that last 60 minutes sometimes in the first round, and that does delay things, yes. But we will wait. It doesn't matter. We will wait for that match to finish. And it's actually kind of ironic, in my honest opinion, in the grand scheme of things, because we will wait while the match is going, but as soon as both teams are ready, we expect them to just go. And me personally, I don't like that, because I feel like if your match finishes in 20 minutes and the other team's match finishes in 20 minutes, do you really have to immediately go? I mean, it's like you guys can probably take like a 5-minute break here or there. But I'm not saying that officially, guys, because that's going to become out of hand if we do implement that without any like type of written rule or regulation. So. Anywho, so that's it for this whole entire series. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it there. I've already gone on for I don't know how much time. Oh, 44 minutes. Wow, not that bad. 44 minutes? Really? Okay, yeah, 44 minutes. So anyway, my name is Cool Blue. I just brought you guys a Sunday Evening Cup series report for December 1st, 2013. And for all those who are interested, next week is going to be the last one for this season. And I'm going to say a few special words like thank you guys and I love you and support NA Dota. I don't know, I haven't figured it out. But I'll do something special like, I don't know, maybe throw an extra picture in there or something. Nothing too fancy. I can't promise you guys the world. Even though I don't, even though I do have the world, it's under my feet. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the cast, and I'll see you guys whenever.